again you'll find yourself disinterested. And you might think that reading is not for you. Well, that is not the case at all. Reading is for. Hello, everybody. How are you all? Hope you're doing great. So, welcome back to another session of Learning English with me. Today, I am going to tell you how to fall in love with reading. Yes, how to fall in love with reading. Well, reading is a privilege, and to read something in English, that's something great. And today, I am going to tell you the secret of falling in love with reading. Falling in love with reading because reading is a very important skill in language. There are 4 skills in any language, right? Reading, writing, speaking, and listening, out of which reading is one of the most crucial skills. And reading is something that you require in order to improve your English, in order to speak English. So today, I'm going to tell you 4 steps, the secret of falling in love with reading. Are you ready for it? I'm Shivangi Gupta, your CELTA certified English language tutor, certified by the University of Cambridge, the UK, and you're watching Speak English with Shivangi. Before beginning, please subscribe the channel, also like the video and share it with your friends too. Now, coming back to today's lesson, that is how to fall in love with reading. Well, can you fall in love with reading? Definitely, you can fall in love with reading. And why am I telling you this? Because of my personal experience. Look around me. I'm surrounded with books, books and books and books. And I personally love reading. And reading is something that is a very important part of any language learning. You're learning a language, you're learning how to become fluent in a language. Reading is crucial. Now, a lot of people, they're not able to read, like they are not interested in reading. I've heard people that they want to read in English. They want to read, but whenever they pick something, maybe a novel, maybe a book, anything, it's like they're not able to read it. They are not interested, they are not able to read it completely, and what to do in that particular case. Today, I'm going to tell you how to fall in love with reading. So if you find this similar problem while reading something, that you're not able to complete it, you're not able to read something completely, you leave it in between, you are not able to read, it disinterests you, then this particular lesson is the solution for you. Let's begin with all the 4 steps, the secret of falling in love with reading. Step number 1. Well, step number 1 is find your interest. Believe me, finding your interest, that's very important. Because if you're not finding something of your interest, you might not want to read it. You're disinterested to read something, you pick something up, you're not able to read it, you're not able to finish reading the particular book. This particular problem arises. Why? Because you haven't found till now something that interests you. So, selecting something that is of your liking, that's very important. How to do that? Well, I suggest if you want to go for something that you like, start with fiction. Start with a novel. It can be a novel, it can be a short story. Start with fiction. That's very important. Now, how to select something, how to select a particular novel to read? You must watch movies, right? Everyone watches movies. Now, what kind of movies do you like? Is there any movie that's a novel adaptation that has been adapted from some novels, from some written work? If yes, go read that novel. I'm sure you will read it. You will love reading that particular novel because it contains your favorite story. And if not, if there is no such movie that has been adapted and you are finding something to read, look at what kind of movies do you really like to watch. Is it something related to mystery, drama, romance, comedy, science fiction, historical fiction, fantasy fiction? What is the genre that you love to watch? Select the same genre while reading. And believe me, you will find it interesting. You'll find it interesting. So reading is something that helps you develop your creativity in English too. So go find something that interests you and fall in love with reading. Step number two. Step number two is select something short in length. So, if you are in that process of starting reading something, in the process of starting to fall in love with reading, I suggest select something that is not too lengthy, right? Select something that is short. So, you need to go find either some short stories, a book that is not too lengthy, maybe 200 pages, around 150 pages. Do not pick something that's lengthy. Do not do that, because once you pick something that is lengthy and you're not able to finish it, again you'll find yourself disinterested and you might think that reading is not for you. Well, that is not the case at all. Reading is for everybody. So go find something that is appropriate in length, something that is not lengthy. So I suggest start by reading something that is quick to end. You can end it quickly, you can finish it quickly, and the thing is that you'll not be able to keep it down. You'll not be able to keep the book down. You're so interested in reading it that you're reading it. You keep on reading it day after day after day, and you do not even realize when did this particular book end. Come on, that is what we want while reading something. And once you achieve that particular point, that you found that particular book where you're reading it, you're not able to resist reading, you keep on reading. That is the falling in love with reading. Believe me, and you will achieve that point in your life if you follow all the points that I'm suggesting. So the next thing is to find something that is short in length. Later on, once you've fallen in love with reading, go select something that is lengthy, doesn't matter. But while you're in the process of falling in love with reading, select something that is short in length. Step number 3 is select something that is appropriate to your level. Now, what do I mean by appropriate to your level? That is your level of English acquisition or English skills. For example, are you at B1 level, B2 level, C1 level, or C2 level? So you need to select something to read according to your level, right? So when you're selecting something that is above your level, you'll find it difficult to read. Hence, you'll be disinterested in reading. You'll think that reading is not for you. You will not be encouraged to read something. In order to be encouraged to read something, in order to keep yourself motivated while reading, what you have to do is you have to select something that is appropriate to your level. For someone who's around B1 level, I would say that you can go for Harry Potter series. Similarly, you can go for other fiction series. Otherwise, you can go for non-fiction too, like Atomic Habits. That's something that's level appropriate for intermediate readers. If you're at intermediate level, definitely you can go for these kind of books. So select something that is appropriate to your level, right? You're at B2 level, you can try classics too. You can see lots of classics kept behind me, in the bookshelf behind me too, right? So you can see lots and lots of classics. If you're B2 level, you're at C1 level, go for classics. And even if you're at B1 level and you're habitual of reading now, still you can go for classics too. So select something that is appropriate to your level of English. That's very important. Step number 4. Step number 4 is to start by reading 2 pages daily. Yes, you have to start by reading 2 pages daily. That's the minimum. That's the minimum. And maximum, I would say 5 pages. If you are in the beginning stages of this process of falling in love with reading, 5 pages is maximum, because you do not want to overload yourself. Right now, you are not reading to improve your vocabulary. You're reading to love reading, so that later on you can use this particular skill of reading to improve your English, right? This time what we are doing is we're developing a habit of reading, because even if you're reading without paying attention, deliberate attention to all the vocabulary, difficult words, still you're going to acquire lots and lots of English. Believe me. That's why developing this particular habit of reading, falling in love with reading is important. And reading 2 pages every day, that's the minimum. Because you need to read around 500 words. In order for you to love reading, in order for you to understand English and acquire some kind of English, from your reading activity. What you have to do is you have to read at least 500 words. And once you read 500 words, that's like, yeah, you have read something. So, in order to read 500 words, you have to read 2 pages, because one page has around 250 to 300 words, depending on the print, on the length, on the kind of print that has been created by the publisher. So, that is the thing. Read 2 pages every day in order to fall in love with reading. So that is the process of falling in love with reading. Believe me, you can read. You know, a lot of times people are not able to appreciate reading because maybe in their childhood they have not faced such circumstances where they were exposed to reading. Even if you were not exposed to reading during your childhood and now you find it difficult as an adult to read something, it's not too late. You can start today. You can start it. And I am giving you this particular advice from my personal experience. Remember, I've told you that I loved reading Harry Potter, all the fictional series which were there, like Percy Jackson and so many more such stories. I love reading stories, fiction stories, right? Then, how did I develop this particular love for reading classics? Today, I love reading classics. I cannot stay away from classics. And I keep on adding more classics to my collection. I keep reading them. Today, if I have to select something, fiction or classic, I'll go for classic. Because I fell in love with classics during my 3 years of English honors and then my master's in English literature. Right? Do you think it was easy? Do you think it is easy for any 17, 18-year-old student of English honors to read all these classics in such difficult English language? But then we fall in love with these books. We fall in love with reading. So, falling in love with reading is not that difficult. You just need to take up the right path, which I have told you today. I've told you everything from my personal experience, and these particular steps are simplified steps for you that I have created personally for you, for all of you. So, go follow all these steps and fall in love with reading. So, that's the lesson for today. That's it. I'm sure you're gonna love reading from now on. I'm gonna see you next time with a new lesson. Till then, everybody, keep reading. Please share your experience with me. Share how you're falling in love with reading. What's the process for you? Share that and take care and bye.